All right, we're off here for another session, Harmonic Pattern Podcast. What's going on? Welcome back, everybody. It's a Thursday. Harmonic Pattern Podcast number 266. We're going to have Mitch Ray in the house in a little bit, so should be a lot of fun with him. Always is. Make sure I'm connected with everybody. What's going on? Great to see everybody. Sheed, Barney, Edward, Alex, Kilroy, Justin, Evan, Argo, Miss Stephanie. Just really good. Swooping Hawk. We're here Tuesday, Thursday, 12:15, 12 noon, 12:15. Hit subscribe and hit the like so you can get the notifications when I'm on live stream. Okay? So let's get to it for today and the obvious continuation of crypto. Yesterday we had a great session on our crypto. Did like a 2-hour presentation on crypto, the plan, the larger plan for 2024. And I'm thinking that probably, that was designed more for what's the longer term daily, weekly patterns to be hitting to ride for the next year. I mean, just position in now before the end of the year into January and ride it all the way through into 2025 or sooner. Just let's start right at the top. Let's go to Bitcoin and back it pulling off in a huge 1,000 point retracement. It's really nothing. Looking at a deep crab, overshooting the deep crab, notice that there's no overshoot. Sorry, no confirmation. Continued strength. That's it. Just the only way to think about it. Beautiful pattern, deep crab pattern. You would look at 41,792, but no confirmation there, and follow through and look at 4-hour indicators. This is interesting because you're about to get an oversold reading. How is that? When you have a lot of internal strength, you see stuff like this. High level pauses, and then they continue. This is a different climate altogether. Yeah, it started 6 weeks ago, but now it's in full force. We're starting to look like geniuses. Why? Because every 5-minute bullish pattern is working. That's it. And that's something to understand, is that as the trend develops, continues, this is just really impressive action. Really impressive. I mean, it's just blowing on through. There's no doubt that the 48,600, 48,680 target is going to kill. We're going to hit it. You guys are saying Solana's pumping right now. I see it up 5 at 67. Let's jump to there for a second. And we know what the deal is on Solana. Solana and Avalanche. Maybe this could just be the gaming crypto session today, but there you go, 67. We know the deal in Solana, folks, right? You guys do know that target 1 is 125. That's it. You're in here, and I've said this all along, okay? The positioning for crypto and maybe even the markets in general is for a larger move into this next year's presidential cycle, crypto cycle. I mean, it's talk about, chocolate in the peanut butter. Give me my Reese's peanut butter cup. Presidential election, probably one of the biggest of my lifetime. I think anybody's lifetime. I think anyone would say that. I don't care what side you choose in terms of the level of intensity. You've got massive liquidity. That's the other thing people don't realize. Just because interest rates went up, it didn't stop the government liquidity that's been authorized from a year or two ago. And then you see stuff with assets like Bitcoin or gold breaking out. We've got a lot to get to because even crude oil hit major numbers that we've been waiting on for a long time. That all of this stuff is clicking right now. I couldn't be more dramatic on how many things are now clicking into place where, think about it this way. If we get a NASDAQ, if we do even like 3/4 of a repeat of what this year's numbers were, we're going to break out. You're going to see massive price discovery across the board in all assets. And then you're going to see kind of a frenzy. In my opinion, you're going to see a frenzy. Everyone's talking recession and everything. Look at the markets. Look what's going on. And I'm just getting started. I haven't even had my full second cup of coffee yet. Wait till I do. Let's get into that. So let's shoot through the crypto really quick. Solana, again, I think, look, there's a collection, a portfolio of crypto that I recommended in yesterday's presentation. It was like, here's 100,000, or if it's 10,000, build a $10,000 portfolio, and what can we expect? Solana's one of it. Solana's one of them to be in there, and minimum. You got a bat pattern right now. Okay, 66, but clearly 60 on the downside, 66 going forward for Solana. 60 is just building. But the targets are big targets. It's a double from here, even after going up 5x off the low. It's 125 and 178. And then beyond that, if you're going to go into price discovery and break out of the pattern, that's how you get much higher. But for now, target 1, target 2, pretty juicy. Let's go to Ethereum because that's pumping impressively. But Ethereum is, we knew what it was going to do. And we've been saying this, 2450 on Ethereum. Yeah, you're a stone's throw away. Go for it now. Here it is. Come on. It's the crab pattern. Let me clean it up for everyone. It's this crab pattern. Bottomed a year and a half ago. There you go. Finally. 2485. Now, we know Bitcoin sailed right past its target 1. Maybe Ethereum's going to play catch up and run to its target 2. So target 2 is 3,400. Target 1, 2480, 2485. I think you could say set this up. You're 140 away, 150 away from hitting target 1. Think of it this way. If it's going to be a strong move, like Bitcoin, it's going to accelerate through the target. Accelerate through the target. So we are static. Look, take away the patterns. And if you're just looking at price action, I think anyone, and most people are saying, wow, that's a nice breakout. You have a nice breakout going on here. What are the obvious structural targets? Sure, throw the patterns on top. It's pretty clear that kind of last chance. That's amazing. Couple more. How about XRP? Are you going to actually finally bust a move? I said this low 60 area is good to go because you have all these HSI settings. This is a high level confirmation setup. There you go here. If it's 58, 60, 62, I don't think it matters. Even 64. You can now check this out. So what? You had that correction. Okay, no big deal. Of course, this thing's correcting 15, 20% when everything else is going up 100%. But you now have the making of an W formation where it can only be one thing. Can't be a bat pattern because you have a 0.66. Can't be a Gartley. ABC doesn't work. This sets you up more for a 1618 creature because of this high level B point. So we'll play it like this. 92 cents. Still, that's the target 1 off of the pattern. There you go. And think of it like this for XRP. XRP won't accelerate until you get back above 75. Like this. But once you do, if you're not in it, that's where it leaves the station. And I don't, nothing's really surprises me that even that takes into next year to happen, so be it. Keep an eye on that one. It's a laggard, but it will catch up. The big target, the 1618 here, matches up also with the weekly target 2. There you go. At 132. Just minimum objective 132. Okay. Now, a few more, and I'm going to talk about some longer term targets, I guess, ways to be thinking about what's coming here. But Ethereum, Ripple, XRP, and then there was where's Link? Hello? Sorry guys, there's Link. So I'm watching Link on a weekly. checking back right now. So it's still early, but first weekly sign we've seen in a month, a year of a bearish signal. Keep an eye on Link. If the party's going to continue, it has to get above 17. Thought that was pretty interesting. Also, you have stuff like this. So you have a deep crab on the daily. And remember what I've been saying about these short-term bearish patterns that pop up. Man, every day. Every day. Hold on one second. Every day I got to take this. All right, thanks. Let's get to it. Chainlinks has this daily crab pattern. Deep crab, actually. But what's the deal? You have confirmation bearish. That failed. This would be purely a failed pattern. Because there's your yellow dot, and you're looking to sell it there. It blows right through. Goes up, and now we have this high-level continuation. Right there. 1350, 1360. This needs to continue. And once you get above that 17 level, then much larger things can happen. Not surprised to see this hang up in here for even 30 days, 30 bars. It's like this. Where's 30 bars? 30 bars for Link. Maybe next week, the 12th, the 13th. So if you pause here, consolidate, breakout is coming on that. Breakout coming on that. Couple more. The big ones first. Of course, Avalanche. That's a big one for me back at 17, folks. We're hitting a shark on the daily at the moment. Okay. Hold on for a second. Okay, we got Mitch almost ready. So Avalanche, like Solana, and I want to talk about a couple of these other specific. This will give me a segue into some, real specific sector crypto. So Avalanche is all about this shark pattern, but much like what you saw back on Link, this thing is trying to fail as well. To fail, we need a close above 27 tonight and keep on going. This has to go on a rope. Otherwise, we probably bounce between 28, 26. But the big deal in Avalanche, and this is one of my favorites, where, get on it, sit on it, don't sell. It's like Solana. It's a massive bat pattern. So that bat pattern, target 1 at 63.91, and then target 2, 97.25. Both of those, I think, are doable from here. A little pause at this 27 area. Also notice the ABCD of the bat is around 27 as well. Really quick, everybody, get over to harmonictrader.com and become a basic member. Simply hit register now. Submit your email address, okay, and then get over to the basic members page. A couple people asked me about the stuff I covered last time in volume 2. And all of that, including the books, are available on the website as a basic member. Where'd it go? I just lost it. Hold on. I knew it. 1 second. Hold on. I'll have to come back to this. Hold on. Can't believe I lost that. Where'd you go? There it is. Basic members right there. So go to the basic members page. For those that weren't able to take advantage of the Black Friday special, okay, about getting with TradingView software, especially those that are new to harmonic patterns, especially those crypto folks, my recommendation is to do the following. Just simply first get the TradingView username, send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Get set up with the 2-week trial. Next week, I will do a holiday special. It's not going to be crazy like a 30% discount, but it'll probably be 15% or 20%. So if you missed out on Black Friday, I'll give you an opportunity to get on with the trial. The other thing is that anybody that wants to upgrade or add a different platform, this will give you, especially those that got with the TradingView platform for Black Friday. Let's say you want to get MetaTrader or eSignal or one of the others. There'll be a special next week, okay? I got a bunch of requests on that, and I knew that would happen, that people would be late after Black Friday. So we'll do a holidays special, but that'll be next week. And the other thing is that our option session we did yesterday. So what I learned is that it's been good to include a gold membership for everyone. So I think what we'll do is we'll also add a gold membership with this to give everyone time to get into the Discord, watch the videos, attend, and we'll do one more. I think what I should do maybe mid-January is do an active trading session. So how to trade stuff like this. Here's where's the hourly Avalanche like this. So we know Avalanche, and we've been playing it as an uptrend, but how to play patterns in between. Bearish 1 hour pattern, how do you play that? Or back-to-back stuff. How to look for hourly patterns, 5-minute patterns within the daily, weekly uptrend. That's the underlying strategy going forward for the next year, right? You're going to have pullbacks. I do think that Bitcoin probably gets close to 50, but then there's some pullback. So we will have opportunities, and we've seen it over and over again. How about this thing? And I think this thing, we posted this, we talked about this last time, and we talked about this in the Discord with the folks of this AIOZ. This thing went from a penny to 20 cents and then pulled back, went to 11 cents. It's like almost a 50% pullback in a very short period of time. There was a big Gartley. And I think there was a few other things. Was it 4 hour or was it 5 minute? It was, 5 minute, 4 hour was an HSI, but I think there was some 5 minute patterns. And these are big percentage moves. Yeah. Here's some stuff that we had in that 11, 12 cent. And then, even recently 14 cents to 16 cents. You got to think in percentages. Even this Gartley move, this bat move from the last 24 hours, that's a 25% move or more. So we'll do more of that. Again, it's all about trying to get the right tools, the right information, so that we can ride this next year with maximum potential, maximum opportunities. I think it's going to be better than last cycle because we're going to have more people, more eyeballs on more patterns, more opportunities, and just continue to hit these. Look, it's this kind of environment that is, ripe. You get into these types of trending situations, you want to ride it for all it's worth. That's the plan. Couple more. Hey, check out Cardano. I mean, really? 46 now? That's remarkable. It hit the hop level on the daily. We've been on that 25 up to 46. Same type of situation here for Cardano. Are you going to break out above the structural resistance at 46? That would be a big move. I mean, if it did that now, I think you're looking at this thing being the big move, triggering it now. Where'd it go? Where's that prior? Hold on one second. Where's my prior patterns here? Here's the crab. Great, 25.50. Remember that? Target 2 off of that crab, which it is a T2, is 46.50. So a little touch more to go. A few more. What do you guys have? Chili's finally starting to move. Remarkable, right? $0.08, 8.5. That was 5. That's been a laggard. We said last time this thing, it could be ready for the March back up to 23.6 cents. In fact, I would say that's what's happening. Couple more. Justin wants to look at sand. Yes, sir. We talked about metaverse in our sessions yesterday. Just a matter of time. This is going to play catch up. And I think play catch up in a major way. Okay? And you can see where my lines are. Don't even need to broadcast it. If your bags are really good, they don't need to be pumped. Couple more. I agree. Who put up Gala? I agree with that. I agree. I don't think. Listen, Gala's hitting a deep crab at the moment, but it's early. You have this bat pattern, 350 minimum. You know, 350, 3.5 cents on Gala, just for the first move. And then if Gala is what we thought it was, you got a lot of room here. I mean, imagine. You can get 100,000 Gala for $3,000 at the moment. And if that thing moves, and that also reminds me of Phantom. So there's Phantom, folks. I think it's just the same spot as the rest of them. And I'm going to just kind of pound on these that are the real bread and butter patterns, the real bread and butter setups. Here's another one, crypto.com. Someone's asking me about that. I just think, look, you're down here, you're under 10 cents. I think anywhere under this 10-cent level, you have patterns a little bit lower. 9 cents, 9.5 cents, it's all good. Because eventually this base is going to get resolved. And you're going to break out above 10, 12 cents. And then be ripe to move. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to get Mitch in here, guys. Let me dial him in. Give me a second here. Get this set up. Oh, wait, 1 second. Let me turn on. Hold on. I think this should be done. Let me see here. Hold on 1 second.
Hey man, can you hear me?
I sure can. How you doing?
Sweet.
Hold on.
I can hear you.
Let me make sure you're dialed in. Hold on.
Sure.
There you are. Good.
Awesome, man. Well, it's been pretty interesting time since we last spoke, on stream.
Everybody give Mitch a big shout out. Mitch Ray TA in the house. As we say, the fundamental data has changed. and the observable data has presented itself uh, to basically define different conditions. So I'm
Positively, though.
yeah, I think it's coming on really fast. It's coming on faster than I think anyone thought. Um, the Bitcoin thing, I think we all were okay with 40,000, what have you, but 44, 48, almost 50 before the end of the year.
Uh, I mean, again, I'm not really one to do the forecasting because this was like, I mean, I was happy at 42K technically, but then like the buyers just kind of blew past that level, and then just looking at levels from 2022 that are real because there was an actual real reversal there a multitude of times. I mean, 44K to 45.5. Until we break that, I can't really sign off on going higher just because it is a very real resistance. And anytime a level has been regarded as a reversal point in history, it could be regarded again. So, yeah, if we're able to see prices above, 45.5, then I think it's a high probability we see 48.6, which is that weekly 618 golden retrace. And that at that point, I mean, like, you think when pullback, because a pullback always happens, even if it's in an uptrend. So we haven't seen much of any of that at all since October 15th.
If we got that 618, I kind of agree. There's pretty much there's either going to be a short pullback or you get some kind of larger retracement. And there's two precedents. There's I talked about this yesterday. I did a crypto presentation, and really it looks more like 2014 if so far than 2018 or 2020. And I think it would be better at this point to get that higher move now into the end of the year. Your B point right now, if you got it, would be basically coming off of a 50% level off the extreme. And what I'm really getting at is that if you want to see this thing do the 1618 move, and that's really what I'm trying to get at with showing some potential projections of if this is going to be one, is it the new cycle? Two, is it a new cycle that leads to price discovery? And then three, what are the historic examples of price discovery? Does it go to a 1618? Does it go to a 314 weekly all-time extension? Does it lead to some kind of pattern? Those kind of questions, I think, help to construct how the larger formation will unfold. I think it could be something like I'm just tracing out a W structure that you get to, and yeah, and definitely I'm way ahead of myself here. So I will preface what I'm about to say with just saying, look, this is speculation, months, if not a year in advance, but um, I think you're going to have some kind of 618 test, but it sets you up for a new cycle 1618 move, which would be the common minimum assumption. Hey, you're going to break out, and Bitcoin has done massive moves beyond that every time. But if you're going to break out, you're probably going, you will go to a 1618. So where is that on this cycle? It's 105 roughly. And if it's going to be a massive breakout, as we've seen, that it's some kind of parabolic move, that's usually a 314 to 3618. And again, those are just extreme, super extreme possibilities. We've been there before. That like that, you're that's where you get that like 189, 190. And again, these are just projected levels. But to do all of that, let's come all the way back down. You need a B point. Like I would want to see some kind of B point to get a W formation. So you'd have a complex structure that would set you off as you have before. Again, let's just imagine if it's 2014 or 2018. It's, we don't know. We really don't know. But if we're making the assumption that Bitcoin is, hey, it's in a new growth cycle, then maybe what that does is, something like where it goes into a 1618 minimum, and we'll just take it from there, one step at a time. Yeah, here's the 14 cycle. So check. I don't know if you're looking at this, but this really looks like the 14 cycle, 2014 for Bitcoin. The only difference maybe is we don't have a weekly pattern this time. But if I'm going to kind of line those two up, we're probably right here. It being December, and you're probably really close. Weeks away, 1 or 2 weeks away from trying to put in some kind of B point
Mm-hmm. A retrace, yeah.
retrace, and then the next whatever starts to launch you. I would imagine they'd start rallying this. The halving coming in April, maybe a correction in February or something, but and it really takes on more of the parabolic sloping shape, of
What did that was that a 618 or like a 50%? If you anchored from that highest point of that cycle to the lowest point, where did
it's
that major reaction occur?
618.
So it's safe to say that cycle 618 and then the 2819 rally, it was also a reversal at the 618.
Yeah,
So
some kind of B point reaction retracement.
So if history just repeated itself, the hard target on Bitcoin would be 48,600 and change.
Yep.
Before a pretty major reaction.
You'd see
So we're not there yet.
No, you'd see something there. I think you'd see. No, I think this one is a little bit touch. Yeah, 64%, something like that. And then
golden pocket, golden retrace, golden pocket. Yeah, so we got about 12% upside until that level on Bitcoin. So that's pretty marginal compared to where we've been and how much we've run.
But some kind of W that you could then say, all right, we can pull the bow back and shoot the arrow up to the 1618, like this same. Take it here, even more truncated retracement, which is I think probably this 2014 to 2000 and almost 17 scenario, which is another interesting fact that it's not really about the 1 year, it's really that 3 year phenomenon from the low and put in some low, and then 1 year before, 1 year after the halving. With all of that, I think you're already building in that process, and with the 2014, it was the same kind of a deal. Let me show. Where'd that go? Let me see here. I'll pull up a interesting chart here. Here it is. Okay, so here's a halving chart. I was showing this yesterday. The kind of returns before and after. The aberrational return here is, there you go. So the first cycle, pre-halving 416%. The after halving, 1 year after, 7,715%. And then you have the retracement. So, I mean, this is all following the second cycle, 110 before, 283, followed by 672%. Every one of these, you're getting the predominant disproportionate gains after the halving cycle, maybe a little spillover effect. So with some kind of, at least a pause in the middle, of each
Hmm.
as well, which I think is lines up. You're lining up. You get and that retracement. What I'm thinking is whatever this B point retracement goes to, if it's a handful of weeks or a handful of months, even, it's probably going to be the bigger buy than even a month ago.
What do you mean?
Because I think that second leg, once we whatever it is, we come up and
After the
pop.
B point, yeah. Once the pivot, once the buyers reassume control, is
Mm-hmm.
what you mean?
Yeah, because
So
that.
it would be more significant from October 15th to now, which at this current time, since that third valley, Bitcoin appreciated 70% at its highest point. I mean, that's the 45K though. Some guy like Spot bought Bitcoin on Coinbase, $17 million worth, and that's what shot us up to 45K. We've not seen that since, but at that peak, it was a 70% increase in value in 56 days on Bitcoin. So you're still like, okay, you know, what, like right now, like as I'm speaking to you, Bitcoin's up, okay, 63% in 58 days. So you're thinking it would be even more than that.
Yeah, so let's say it's 2014 model here, and you do have an extended style base. We're trying to slope up, hit a target, and then come back for a retracement. Um, if you have that kind of formation, and we get the bottom there, then once that's in, I mean, you're almost FOMO is probably your strategy, because at that point, then the moon phase is on, and every day, practically every day, and certainly almost every week, will be a higher high, higher low as you go into that hyper acceleration, which I think is, um, you see it where you do get reactions along the way, but in 2014, it was you went up to a 2.618 on the first one, had some kind of retracement. Even if you were looking like a 314, 3618, those were massively exceeded, but they at least pointed you in a much higher direction than maybe what you would see in traditional markets, to really focus on, okay, where should this thing be exploding, stuff like that. So
Yeah, your traditional Fibonacci just kind of gets blown out of the water when we have an untraditional market. This That's why I always try to emphasize it. Because, yeah, I mean, if we go into like some sort of mania markup phase, then okay, yeah, well, targets of traditional trade setups, or traditional targets of a trade setup, or what I mean is like how you would target on a traditional market. Yeah, like you could hit the third target of the trade setup, and then within a week or two, you're doubling that third target. I remember that happening in 2020, and people would actually complain about it, like too conservative of targets. And it's like, well, again, you're not understanding what part of the cycle we're in, where this you would be grateful for one target of the three in normal market conditions, and that's the majority of the time. And then when you leave that and go to mania, then okay, yeah, you might have to target a little bit more aggressively, which is like 2618s, 3618s, right? 4236s.
hello.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what now. I thought I switched out for something to happen. Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
good.
did anyone did dang, did anyone hear that what I said?
No, I
I don't know
didn't.
if
Yeah, we did. I saw my thing go out for a second. I've been having my internet kind of pop out for 30 seconds. I thought that's what happened here. Been
oh
having like
well.
a lot of power surges. I thought that I saw.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm alluding to, and um, but we're in that window here, and so and the traditional markets could be popping in the same way here. I mean, they're S&P's high of the day right now, but I think what you're seeing already, something's up. Like, something's coming. The way that this stuff is acting, um, that
Oh, I mean, yeah, like the one guy that whoever that freaking maniac is who's been buying between 33K and all the way up to 40K. I mean, he's buying just tens of millions of dollars spot price, market buying. Coinbase, and then the crescendo was 2 days ago with that $17 million buy. I don't know who these people are, um, but they are the way they're buying seems so irresponsible and so unlike a composite operator. But they have composite operator money where they're literally moving the markets, but they're not doing what the composite man's very quiet and subtle, and I figured like the composite man between March and October, that was him doing what he does, right? Making everyone become, just insolvent because of so much complacency and sideways movement. It kills all sentiment. That's when he's accumulating, and I figured he got his fill, you know, between that 25K and 31K level. But when finally the remaining supply was absorbed at 31K, you saw this massive breakout on high volume, and I'm guessing like there's another composite operator now, who's the one that it wasn't the guy who was buying between 25 and 31. It's another guy buying between again 33 and like 40, and now I put 45, and you just gotta love the transparency of the blockchain because we can just see it happening. We can monitor this guy's wallet. It's kind of just fascinating. Price action. I called it vertical accumulation. I don't even know this word for what we saw from late October to early December.
Yeah, it's that's sheer imbalance, quite frankly, and you've been saying it. There's no supply, and
Yeah,
they've created the
we ran out.
situation where it was even worse than what people thought. It's been a long time basing, and despite what people said about the supply, well, they found out, and they're finding out. So this is
F around. Yep. They effed around. They waited too long. And they're just like, all right, forget it. I'm not gonna. I will buy premium Bitcoin. But you just think, I mean, how many of it's one asset and it's global, and there are sovereign wealth funds, there and just hedge funds, mega institutions fighting for custodial services. I mean, it is something we've never seen before, I am I'm not one to make projections and calls on how high this thing can go and how fast it can get there. It's just you just think about, it is such a uh, tight supply, and 80+% of all Bitcoins are, I think, off exchanges. 85+% are off, and no one's selling now. But I mean, no one has been selling. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think everyone that was holding firm, they're holding, and it just was kind of a delayed realization, but now it's here. The higher it goes, the less people are going to be inclined to sell. And that's um it's absolutely setting up where again, I think whatever this is that's coming up, the B point, I think, um prepare for that digestion here pretty soon. If it's 48 or 45 or 51, this is you're looking for a B point here. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah,
Probably.
there's gonna be a sharp pullback at some point, and no, neither of us are saying it's over. We're just saying like you should like be mentally prepared. You shouldn't expect anything, but expect like after a run that's so long, sustained like this, nonstop every freaking day, every week it feels like you need to have your mindset prepared and expect a pullback just so you don't do anything irrational, right? Don't do anything crazy. No, like, oh yeah, of course, this is how wave structures work. I mean, on every market, on every chart, every day, right? You're gonna get, big, small, minor pullbacks, your large waves up or down, right? So just be prepared. I guess that's what I think we're saying here. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, if we run hard into the end of the year, and set up some kind of B point like up here, then that would have probably even bigger implications. You're at a point where um, every day matters. We haven't been in that kind of a phase for crypto since the last bull market, quite frankly, where the continuation every day, despite how far it's already moved, is really important. If you lag up here and you do like a 3 bar reversal, that's probably it for now. That's probably it for this run. And then you take a break, take a pause, and then set up. But where these larger
Will
numbers are is the big deal. The 50,000, the 48,000 number.
will it be strategized by people taking profit before the year ends? Is that a tax thing, or do you think the B point and the pullback, or do you think it would just what this run we're on sustains beyond January 1st?
I think it's usually you get that momentum last 2 weeks, whatever the year, wherever you
Yeah,
are going into year end. You're
Santa
usually
rally.
yeah. Well, it's if you're up for the year, people are going to FOMO in so they can show it on their balance sheet. If you're down for the year, if you're crude oil, you're probably going to do a lot of tax loss selling, but that's probably the opportunity. Conversely, for Bitcoin and others, it could rally into the year and then have a tax loss dump first week of January,
Yeah.
and that would make sense. I'm just trying to target, like, is this B point going to be 48 or 50, or is it going to be more right around where we are now?
Yeah, because I mean, despite Fibonacci, you know, there are very real levels from history that have acted as you know, they're inflection points, 44.4 and 45.5. I know I want to be more excited than anyone, breaking 42K, but unfortunately, they're just, there's just history there. And the one thing I've learned over the years of doing this just so long, like when you break the key of key levels and there happens to be history just above you that was manufactured later, one thing I learned just from not doing it was ignoring it and just being like, oh, 42K was the level. And yes, there is some sort of resistance above us, but that's not a big deal compared to it. Actually doesn't matter. I mean, like this is definitely a level where someone could. I mean, there is supply here right now. I mean, it's not much. So there is certainly a little bit of supply at 44.4 to 45K. We saw it, right? I mean, like the dude bought and then someone immediately sold everything to him. And we have not recovered to test 44.4 once. We have not done even a back test, which I think you would get a back test. Even if this was going to be a top, we'd get some confirmation probably. But so yeah, I just man, just you know how it is. You participate in these markets long enough, and you respect levels. You respect reversal levels from history, no matter how new they are, how old they are, if they're the big one or not. I think there's definitely a little bit of supply here, at least for a couple of days, right?
Yeah, and it could go, just continue sideways. Just establish this month over month climb. We are hitting some daily overbought indicators with RSI and amplified RSI, HSI, just starting to roll over now in the last 24 hours. But
You know why we want it. You know why we like it because in these are the most conducive conditions for these altcoins with these ungodly harmonic setups to play out, right? I mean that this is what okay, bull trend, Bitcoin just came off its glorious impulse and now we're a couple days removed from that. Yep, that's when the look what happened to Ethereum today. Look at Ethereum to Bitcoin. I mean, outperforming. I mean, Ethereum's up 5% and it's headed to its first target of a trade setup. And then if you go to OP, which was like in the category of specimen freaking bonsai tree harmonic structures with the type 2 returns, it's up 25% today. I mean, it sucks if you're a Bitcoin maxi, but
wow, look at that.
this is why it's important to understand like yes, the Bitcoin show yeah, you want to have a lot of Bitcoin, of course, but understand Bitcoin will stall a little bit, and speculators will and traders will make money on the altcoins, and they will make far more yield on those altcoins than Bitcoin would ever be able to give you in a short period of time, just based on market cap.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important. I mean, this is why I love this market, because you can really, once again you participate long enough, you start learning how it goes. And I think it's not like anything new where Bitcoin runs, goes into some trend, stalls, and altcoins follow Ethereum, and then the altcoins, and it's just a trader's dream. But again, it took us, dude, like between 300 to 500 days of zero opportunity. It's actually even more because I'm not even talking about the down. I'm talking about the bottoming patterns, right? That we love. That took 300 to 500 days, not to mention the year downtrend before. So 300 to 500 days of structural developments of the harmonic framework, and then the type 2 returns, and then visibility on the weekly, oh, the edge, everything you want. It's all happening at 98% retraces from the previous cycle's bottom to top. I mean, it's stage is set, and only the patient man wins in these situations. But you can't just be a Bitcoin maxi. You have to own some of them, and take your chance and have your trading plan. So anyway,
Well,
sorry, I was ranting there.
that's the other thought, because you've got like the total 3 index that looks like it's ready to play catch up with the rest of them finally. And total 3, there's some great
It was like
patterns.
Wyckoff accumulation almost, I think, total three.
Yeah, on the daily, it's just beautiful, and then there's weekly, and it's just starting to get out of the zone here for versus the other, total 1, total 2 indices. So this
And,
is where, if Bitcoin's going to pause soon, not here, but maybe a little bit higher, then it rolls into the alts, and that's where you see alts really explode. I don't think the alts have really exploded yet.
no, no, a few, a couple have. I mean, like Sol is completely gone. OP's working on it. Chainlink went nuts. I mean, yes, I would say many and most have not done their thing. Like if you go to H bar, it's only just begun. I mean, like your shark pattern, your type 2, that's the one I think I ping, I just sent you a DM when it started taking off there after that 5-6 cent back test.
Hmm.
And I think you said S pumping or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, but like these are okay, we can trade them, but I think the size of them, and how you can see them on the weekly, that indicates a cycle reversal where you're gonna, like, okay, we'll hit the aggressive target as the harmonic, you'll pull back, you'll make a higher low, and the trend's reversed. And you could be, and then the great news about crypto is like the lack of data in between major levels, and that's what gives you so much upside potential. Like, I God, I mean, H bar breaks 8 cents,
Whoa,
you
look
hit
at
that
this.
that C point, you're going easily to 12.5 cents, and that's being like conservative. I mean, above that's like 16 plus cents. This is like a huge bottoming structure. And again, the context for anyone watching that cares about learning and stuff, like the context of this is, this to me is if I was dreaming and I was having a lucid dream about painting harmonics or being the composite operator myself, like where would I paint the harmonic? Well, I would do it when, so December 2020 all the way to the all-time high, to the bubble pop bottom, which was in December 2022. That's a 98+% retrace. That's where I'd do it. That's exactly where I'd start buying and painting this structure. And then eventually, yeah, we would see. And dude, understand, like a 16 cents sounds crazy, but you got to know from the all-time high to where H bar's bottom was with Fibonacci, 16 cents is a 23% retrace from the all-time high. Two, three, the most shallow retrace of all fib nodes. I mean, how was that unreasonable? No, that's like fine, but the craziness about where we are, H bar has 140% upside until we even see that level. That's what's so mind blowing about what we're witnessing right now over 300 to 500 days of harmonic development. Anyway, so
Yeah, you probably get to 9, pop through 9, and then make the run. We have I think you see the weekly bat pattern. That's a beauty. That's a beauty too. I mean, that's
Yep.
talk about
Unreal.
patterns looking left. You want to be in on something when it is making its run, where you'd be like, okay, why did you buy H bar last year? Oh, it had this big pattern and confirmation. It confirmation's roughly like 6.5 cents for how I look at it. And then XA structural minimum support 9.13 cents. You're there, and you're basically just sitting there off the low and target one 26.5. And
Yeah.
if that's all that happened in the next year, you're very happy.
Yeah, if you're using Fibonacci, 26.5 cents or whatever, that is not a big deal. It's completely normal, like again in Fibonacci terms, but that from where the price is right now is nearly 300% appreciation in value. And it would just be a common retrace level with Fibs. So that's why I love Fibonacci because it seems crazy, but it's not because it's just the framework that's used on traditional markets to determine value and premium, and it's no different here at all. It's just if you use that as your framework, you can make life-changing money. Now, if you don't believe any of that stuff, that's fine, whatever, but this is what we use and we've been using forever. So, um, to determine value and premium and targeting.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take long to move stuff. I mean, I'm in a couple of low floaters that have really popped off, and it's, you can see it how these bigger guys are coming in and they, bring in 20, 30, 50 million dollars, and they create these moves, and um it is all about getting in on the right harmonic levels, in my opinion, because you're catching that natural cycle. So whenever they do pile in to push it, you're already there. I mean, you're already there. There's
Dude, you want to look at another one that's insane? It's your framework. It's HAI. It's called Hacking Token. You're talking about low floater, low volume. I mean, it's 2 million volume apparently on KuCoin, but this one is like, and maybe you want to like give your thoughts on this. An asset that we get type 2 returns all the time, like we just saw on H bar, and it's kind of perfect, right? Like FTM, well not FTM, but Matic was like perfect. A lot of them were
yeah.
like FIL. It's like literally out of your textbook. But then you've got ones like HAI that are a little different, where the type 2 is so much higher than the type 1, and then you get this bonus third valley on the daily, and then it's like a classic accumulation structure, and then broke out, literally broke out in early November and has even back tested the breakout as support. So it's confirmed. But look at it now and look, you tell me, like there's no resistance to like 5 cents, right? But
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think that a harmonic, like just from your opinion and experience and all that, I mean, you're the godfather of harmonics. I mean, so would you consider this like a stronger version of the framework, the type 2?
It's almost perfect. I mean, right off of the bottom there, it's almost a perfect shark. I see the bat. I don't know why this
It's
up.
a Gartley.
Oh yeah,
I have it
this.
886 Gartley,
I think I know why it's not picking up. It's probably
1414 B to D. It's beautiful confluence right there.
this is probably a little too wide for our parameters, but yeah, I see what you're saying there. Yeah, I
But I
mean,
just manually anchored November of 2022 as my
yeah,
X point, and my D point was early June of this year.
yeah, you can do that, sure. And I mean, I'm hitting that. I know why it's a little bit wide. It's the reason why our software is not kicking it up is because I think it's just
Oh,
a little too wide. But you have all the parameters, and then you have this first move, yes, and then the retest move, and it really is at the 786. So sometimes you can't see that because the Gartley's tougher. The 786, yeah, that works. I mean, that is type
beauty.
two.
It's
Yeah.
actually a trade setup posted to patrons and stuff. It's well off the entry. But like I was just wanting your opinion on, so I just sent you, I pinged or I just DM'd you like my chart, and again like just showing like the valleys like that. I mean, that's like aggressive buying. That's like more aggressive buying than what you'd get if it was a type 2, right? Just because the psychology of the higher low versus the same low, like more than before. And then just then a rally off that second higher low, and then you get this third valley that's higher. And it's like you're just seeing more than before, and then you throw in the rule of three, and on the third valley, you broke that resistance. But like you can clearly see how big of an inflection point it was from July and August and October 2022. I mean, do you think that?
There's the
I don't
pattern.
know if I. Yeah, but like compare that to FIL or Matic or H bar, all their type twos are the same price. The type twos are equal to the type one. So I'm wondering, what you think about these higher low type twos like that?
Well, first of all, you can't. It's a little sneaky. You have your 886 here. It really, what it's back test. It is a type 2 because it really is back testing the 786. You have an ABCD there.
Oh yeah.
You have and it's kind of sneaky. Even though it did that, here's the other. Here's let's just do it like this. This is your HAI, or this is H bar. Wait, which one is it?
Hi. It's
Hey,
hi. In
hey.
Japanese for yes.
Okay. Yeah. Hey. That's see, it is sneaky on, and this is one of the reasons why we developed the type 1, type 2 thing into the program. Because sometimes your eyes can't see the exact area where it hits the first reaction, tags it for the reversal, and then retests it. I don't even have it here on a 4 hour, but I'll trace it out again. It's like, there it is. Here it is. So by definition, why do we focus on the 786 versus the 886? Because of the alignment of the B point. You know, your B point. So there's the low. That's X to A. Your B point is within the tolerance, 618. It's not a bat, it's a 618. Bat would be up here. So 786 is what you focus on. Even though it went almost to the 886, the qualification factor is at 786. So it did the type 1 move, a real sharp one, and then unless you're aware of that, and that's why everyone's here and you listen to my stuff and Mitch of how to cite this, also the software will spot it, type 1, type 2, you're not going to realize it. And the 786 is it hits it right there on this high hacking token. And that's why it held that higher low. And then some of the assumptions you can make, because you have a perfect 1-2, and then you even have, like, you have this third confirmation move that should easily get you up to target 2 off of the structure, and these are minimums, and target 2 on this is like 450, 425. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
there. So this isn't over yet. And what typically happens, especially in this stage of crypto, is that if this is going to be the big blow off move, that when you get to this 4 cent area, it just accelerates through. That's
Yeah.
that's how you should be looking
It's,
at targets.
it's like the cycle reversing harmonic structure, just like we looked at on uh, H bar, or how we'd look at file or Matic, or
Yeah,
there are other ones.
H bar is a good one because that hasn't even developed its move. But how many of these have set up like H bar and then they bust the move? I mean, that's Cardano
Yeah,
before
we're
Card.
not quite there yet, dude. Like we're just not even we're like that's the next thing to happen is the
Yeah,
impulse.
I mean,
Yeah, like Cardano broke out on the weekly. It's type 2 return on yeah, like I think it was a type 2 return of a deep crab. I think that's what we have now.
and we've seen this where a lot of these crabs, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they overshot hop or hit hop and went sideways for a year, and now we see they are valid. It just took a lot longer than anybody wanted, and now we have to assume that those targets, those upside targets, are as valid as the zones were.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like Cardano's wow. I mean, 60 cents and then 90 cents. Those are like that's it. I mean, you're like at the neckline. You're like on double. You're like on the cusp of a major double bottom being confirmed with a breakout. Like like today, you're this week. You're working on it. I think any price above 46 cents is the breakout. So
Yes.
if you're watching, you definitely want to have your alert set up because this is a insanely. I mean, I was live on stream when my alert was going off, and we went over to look at it, and I pinged my people about the breakout just so everyone's aware and just understand. Like, you don't have to do anything, but if you care about this world, know this. I want you to see the consequence of a major inflection zone being broken with very little to no resistance above you. You got to see that, and that's how you convert people into understanding, like and like kind of letting their traditional technical analysis into your heart. I mean, you got to. People will be curious, skeptical. They'll observe. They'll spend time watching, and eventually they'll see it play out time and time again to where they say, well, okay, well, the mathematical probability, is if there's a double bottom, okay, and you're breaking resistance, you understand you can strategize that. You can have entries and tight stop losses, cut your losses quick, but if the stop loss never gets triggered, there's so much upside, and you can make so much money managing your risk. So yeah, I think Cardano was a great one for that, and yeah, we're very very close here.
That makes sense on Cardano, like a shark, connect the dots type shark up to 64 cents. You heard it here second after Mitch said it. But that's then that would be this 1618. We see that a lot. That would and this is something all crypto you should look at. Whatever this last ditch down was from this year, if it was from like the spring to the summer low or something, what I'm seeing a lot of is ditch down and then a spring bounce, a 1618 impulsive, harmonic impulsive wave. So for Cardano, you're right there now 45, threatening 46. We crack 46, 47. You're going straight to 62, 63. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
between there. And then makes sense that this is a sharp move. Just get out of the way, FOMO in, and up into this 1618 cycle. And then you're doing it is a 1618 of the correction down, which means this is a shakeout low, which is important to know, which means this is a monster low. That means that's a
Yeah.
monster low.
Yep, the lower low double bottoms perform the best if they truly do play out. As if like you don't know it's a lower low double bottom until the rally begins, but when it typically when it does start, it performs better than a higher low double bottom or the same low double bottom. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean, my God, on Cardano weekly though, it's almost like the same low. I mean, it is candle closes and all that. I mean, these freaking buyers defended 24 cents so well for so long.
here's your file coin.
Yeah, dude, File's the king, man. So nice, technically speaking. Oh my god, so 5+% today. Nice. Yeah, this one's just sit and wait and get paid. You sit, you wait till
That's
nearly
huge.
$10 minimum. So just wait till File doubles in value from here. Literally,
Yeah,
it's that simple.
I can see that.
It's breaking. I mean, like, so $5 is just such a huge level, not just because psychologically, but also because literally look left, from June 2022.
Oh,
I mean,
check
this is
this
it.
out.
This the last level.
So we had a Gartley right off the low. We're seeing a lot of patterns that
Yeah, it
are
exists Garley. Yep. Just like
produ-
hi.
yeah, producing these bearish patterns, but they're great because look, they give you a nice sharp pullback, and then if the cycle is going to be really strong and we're going to have a bigger move after the reaction, it's kind of like a springboard here off of target one at 453, that not only you go back to retest for the type 2, but if this is super strong, you blow on through. So file
Yep.
set 564 to 660 now, and then
Yep.
blow it through, like
Yeah, I
destroy
got
it.
like 630, that high from June 2022 and September and November 2022, and then April of this year. That's a very real level. So if buyers are able to recapture the $5 level, like as they are as we speak right now, but if it's real, a real break and not a fake out, then you have minimum like just on deck 26% upside on FIL.
Hmm.
And then after that, though, aggressive harmonic targeting, C and A being the targets, 762, 950, those are my targets. Like I'm not going to be settling at 633. I have just too much conviction on such a pattern like this. It's just too incredible. So, yeah, and the beauty is on that harmonic pullback right there. Guess what's developed on the daily? Some very, very beautiful hidden bullish divergence. And guess what? Today is the day that we see positive momentum again. This is it.
Nice.
How poetic is it that the day that we see our first level of positive momentum after the development and maturation of hidden bullish divergence is the day that buyers are possibly breaking the resistance of all resistances.
Here's the
Yeah,
MACD. There you go. Nice.
incredible. Yeah, love it, man.
I like that. That's really a helpful indicator. MACD is really helpful to be getting clear signals when things are really starting to heat up.
Yeah, just that histogram though. I don't use the line. The signal lines are not reliable. They don't give you an edge. I don't think. I mean, they just fail. They just they'll do crossovers and then like nothing matters. That's why I just focus. You see that? That's beautiful. That
That's
hidden
really nice.
divergence, and then boom goes the dynamite on the day.
Okay, take 1,000 of that. I feel like I'm at the grocery store. Take 1,000 of that. Take 1,000 of that, and just set it. Forget. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at. Is like, okay, I know I'm buying off of patterns and levels. I've got a lot of basing behind us here. And then it's just like, okay, which ones are going to fire off? Which ones are going to explode? Like, could Filecoin do a Solana? And like
Yes.
Solana went from 10 to 65, 70. Can that go from 5 to 30? Maybe it could go to 24, maybe. That's where
Oh,
we
which one?
are.
Solana
This is
or
no,
what?
this is
Oh,
Filecoin. I'm just saying
oh,
File.
you're just comparing. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. I think we are at a sweet spot right now. Again, this took 500 days. So
yeah.
we just are now finally at the point where this like we're about to have a magical time for these alts and it took forever and now it's time to get paid for being patient and waiting. We waited forever. You couldn't make money really like this up and like because the structures weren't there and now they are. And like the next thing that happens at this point is major markup, huge swings in price to the upside, and the highest levels we've seen, since April, highest levels we've seen since March, highest levels we've seen since February, and possibly highest levels we've seen since 2022 on many of these altcoins. So, you know,
Here's
like when these patterns didn't exist, let's say we just go back to like December of last year, when the patterns didn't exist or anything like that, we couldn't talk about it. So where was the opportunity? There actually was opportunity at the end of the year, beginning of the year. There truly was. But then like all these assets have now come back to retest those lows outside of Bitcoin and a couple others. And so just now, like you had the trade set up that only hit 2 of the 3 targets on a lot of these coins at the beginning of the year that I posted. And that's a normal market condition. And now I think like we are concluding the normal market conditions and this is like major trend reversal where things will perform very well, like huge upside. Anyway, yeah. Magic time.
here's Axie Infinity, AXS, massive all-time bat pattern going sideways. Generally $5 was the floor. Now 730. I'm fine with that.
And monthly's crazy, dude.
Yeah, a monthly even.
What a monthly double bottom's just like
Yeah,
it's like Dogecoin kind of.
yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Doge because it's like I would think people would be, there's no use case on that, and it's, I think people that rode that up and down got burned. Maybe it comes back and does some kind of 20. I think it could go to 20 cents or something like that Does it really go back to all-time highs? I don't think so.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, but like, who cares? Like,
Yeah,
we don't need it to go to all-time highs to make
no,
life-changing money on these. None of them.
no.
Okay, like we're talking about H bar. All it makes a major 23% retrace, and you make 200% on your money. What? In what world is that possible? Only in a world where all the time 500 days goes by and these things develop, and it only happens once every what, 4 years or plus. I mean, it's people I think take for granted what these where we are, what these structures look like right now. Like I'm talking, it's December 7th. You're looking at File and H bar and OP, all these coins. People take for granted because you will not get like, okay, the closer you are to the type two, close you are to these breakout points, the closest you are to being able to strategize with entry and a tight stop loss. And you'll see once these things run away, and that like 2,000, 3,000 people are in my live stream, and chat's going insane, and people are just FOMO. People are asking, should I buy now? Like you won't be able to buy now, and it won't be reasonable anymore. And this is the time, man. This has been the time for the past few weeks,
Yeah,
past month,
your numbers are
to
way up.
allocate.
I came
Yep.
in your live stream. I think it was last night, night before. You had like 1,200 people there. It's been a
Oh
while
yeah, I
since
mean,
you
it
had
had a
1,200.
14. Oh, I had 15,000 views on that stream.
Right on. Well,
That's the first 15,000 view stream I've had in like 7 months or something. I think it's a
uh,
long time, 7, 8 months.
yeah, maybe it's almost time for a hay stream. You know.
Oh well, so the Hay song. I mean, the Hay song's legit meant for all time highs. We play the derivative of it, like a forked version from one of our talented community members. That was amazing. Like the intro of that stream. That's the song I'm talking about. But like, yeah, the Hay song, like the glitter guy, like it has to be like we're about to break all time highs, and as we're crossing all time highs, the Hay song's playing. Like we can't devalue it, but I know, man, it's just we're not there yet. It's so crazy to think, it was like almost Hay song for gold, for like a 30 minutes
Yeah, gold, amazing, amazing.
until Peter Schiff tweeted and then right back rejected all time highs. I mean, made it, but not traders did not settle up above the old all time high, like where the candle close was on the daily.
I'm not surprised by that. I really think you're going to have to knock on that 2,100 door. But to the point of the whole of every market starting to go off. Listen, it's if gold knocks here, it's knocking a fourth time on the weekly. Doesn't
Yeah.
you can knock three times. Knock a fourth? No. I mean, this is even though this got rejected at
Rule of three,
2,100.
man. Rule of three.
Yeah, this is going to eventually break out here on gold, and that will be a big move. Something's coming, and gold maybe finally after 2 3 years of this sideways, do we get ready for a 1618 on gold? And then that would certainly whatever's going to drive gold, which is cheaper dollar or whatever, that's going to help Bitcoin. That's going to help crypto.
I help Magnificent Seven. You'd
Yeah,
think.
well,
I actually, you know what? Hot take on massive market rotation on like loser crap stocks, right? Where I mean, the ones that like, oh, Gap. I mean, Gap had the perfect type 2 return, the massive harmonic, and it's going insane. And is it because Gap's all of a sudden like a great company and has a new like system and model for how they transact business? No. You know what's happening? What it's paired to is collapsing. US dollar purchasing power is just getting wrecked. And I think we've legged down. And now we have Janet Yellen, who's again putting us in more debt every quarter by nearly $1 trillion now, and that won't stop. And I think we are at the event horizon of the debt cycle. Like if you look at a chart, it's certain. It's like it's never been like this. We're printing more than we were, taking on more debt than we were during World War II, and like there's just nothing going on. I mean, it is at this is it's treasonous. I mean, these people legit like I mean, if this isn't treason, then what is? Because they don't have the right to like what they're doing is every person that is a taxpayer in the West, or at least in the US, right? They're expending their energy in return for money, but the amount of money that's being put into the system is devaluing the money. So that means the energy people are expending is becoming worthless because the dollars they're paid in is being like completely overinflated for no real reason. And now like 40% of the debt we take on is servicing. Oh no, it's like 40% of our GDP now is servicing our debt. So, and interest rates are so high, right? Yeah, I mean that's a hot take. Like even small caps have a chance because of this situation.
Yeah, there's still all that money. I mean, just because um, they authorized all that money from 3, 4 years ago, it still needs time to go into the economy. It's kind of like after the financial crisis in 2008. They authorized all this
Hmm.
cheap money, but it took like 5 to 7 years to get all of that spending and money and authorization fully in. It's been programmed. So, and that's what I'm thinking.
Laggard, yeah.
Yeah, this is despite
That's sad. That's really
everything.
bad, dude. That's terrible that you say that. I mean, like, yeah, it's bad because okay, so the at this current time, like every day, like the dollar is collapsing purchasing power. But so at some point, the printing press turns off, and then the inflation starts subsiding or staying as it is. But the issue with what you're saying is they didn't ever stop. That they're doing it today. Yeah, like they did it like a few days ago, right? Yellen, like taking on the debt quarterly. So I mean, if they're never stopping and it's always a laggard, so in 2 years from now, we're gonna be witnessing the inflation in effects from right now in the past couple quarters this year of money printing
Yeah.
and debt. So it's never going to end. I hope people watching understand that. It would end. It could end if they stop. They're not gonna now, and they've jumped the shark. That's what you would call it. They've definitely jumped the shark. So
Well,
super inflation.
think about what they said this during COVID that it'd be extremely inflationary, okay? And it was. It just again it took
You know, they said
to
it was transitory, right?
well, transitory, but I think everyone knew it would be extremely inflationary, transitory or
Oh, so
otherwise.
the Fed saying it was transitory, but so we shouldn't take the Fed's word for it. They just lied to us. We just knew,
Oh yeah, everyone knew they were lying, but the thing is that we knew that inflation was
not the
coming.
idiots,
No, but you
not
didn't
the dumb
see
people.
that inflation until 2 years, 3 years after the fact. Like again, I keep coming back to the fact that my favorite eggs are like $9, $10 a dozen now. And
Hmm.
it's like okay, I just think that
Just
that's
give it a couple years.
we'll give that a couple years. They used to be five. That's what I'm saying. In 3 years, it doubled. And so that's
Yep.
what I'm thinking is like, okay, is this current economic environment with all this, authorization of easy money to be spent going to drive those eggs to $20? And
Oh
and
yeah.
and then, all right, we can
But the
absorb that,
problem,
but
what's scary is, okay, yeah, cost of goods and services goes up so much, but like that means rent will go up. But the thing is, it's going up so fast that like legitimately people that are like working like normal jobs, like career jobs, like they went to college for, and it's like they were fine. Hey, 65K, 70K a year. No, that's like a few years ago, one could like kind of get by fine and actually contribute and max their 401ks and do the right thing to eventually be able to retire. You can't like that's gone now in 3 years, and so you got to wonder what's going to happen when the money that people are receiving for all the work they put in isn't paying for anything. Like right now, people 2200, 2300 a month for rent, and then what's your car and your insurance on your car, your homeowner's insurance. What if you have a kid? Like what happens? I mean, all these variables.
it's expensive
w-
AF, man.
It's
It's
beyond, no, it's like unaffordable now
Well,
to
I don't.
most
I
normal
mean,
people.
your priorities have to change. Instead of taking the big fat vacation, you're having to spend a bit more on the kids' private school.
Hmm.
Excuse me. But that's where we are. But
Yeah.
look at this monthly S&P chart. I mean, this is going back like 20 years now. Whatever the game has been of the easy money, it continues. It's not going to stop. And that just means equity prices, whether artificially or otherwise, continue to rise as long as money supply increases. And that's this general uptrend that started 2008 with the fake financial crisis. Yeah, I said fake crisis. Um,
Mm.
is that doesn't stop. And yes, conditions and inflation and things get more difficult, but we know what this whole scheme does. It makes corporations rich, it makes people poor. So you either have to be an owner or get owned, and that's owning stocks is how you avoid it. It's been how you avoid it really since '08, because this whole move in the last 13, 14 years is pretty ridiculous. In the 20 something, 5, 7 years, whatever, since I've really been participating in the markets, this was an insane move in the 90s to the early 2000s. But this move, and I consider this like the second half of my career, really, is insanity. I mean, it's like I don't think anyone really ever expected the markets to do that kind of a move from the 90s to the 2000s, where your S&P was um 470, and then it goes to uh I can't even think. Yeah, 2000, something like that. 1500, 1600. And now your S&P 500 is almost 5,000. And that's because of the money. And the money thing
Yep.
that's gone on. This is the hyper phase, I think, and it's also why I think something like Bitcoin coming along at the absolute right time of this.
It was
Uh,
the catalyst for its inception, its creation.
yeah, because we listen, folks. Everyone has talked about the debt and the deficit
Ooh, Ethereum.
since
Yeah. Deep.
'74, and they've been all questioning it my whole career. Since even the late '80s, early '90s, I've talked to people. They've always worried about the debt, and they're going to just expand the debt, expand the debt. No one ever thought it'd get to like 35 trillion and all the craziness. But you're there. But the now you can't escape it. You're going to have to continue it. So whatever started back in '08, you'll have corrections along the way. But this primary long-term trend doesn't stop. And if you can accept that, then where are we headed on this chart? We're not rolling over. We might hit
Oh,
resistance, take some time, but in my opinion, longer term, eventually we're going to break out of this 886. Okay, and then
that'd be wild.
we're going to do the next 1618 leg, like we're projecting on crypto. Okay, minimum, like we've done on every other time, because you could say this is the end of the world or that's the end of the world, but every time we faced it, there's 2008, and you trigger a 1618. Well, last time that 1618, it was just getting started off of
Hmm.
the 2008 correction. So it's look, the all the stuff that's going on, yeah, it's designed to kind of create a greater disparity, but that's why we do what we do.
It's
Because
not just that; it's hard assets like real estate too. But real estate kind of got like all messed up because of the mania, the FOMO. Like it was like a blow off top kind of situation, and then the interest rates paralyzed the market, and then everyone's stuck with their 3% interest rates that bought in the mania. So and then there's a lack of supply. So therefore, like the price of real estate's not going down. It's a really weird situation there. But again, like owning in a good high volume market, I mean, like Miami, like owning real estate property in Miami is unbelievable. It's like crazy. It's like owning a stock or owning a
it's only like Bitcoin to some extent.
yeah, because this is where the demographic shift is so extreme here. And the more like authoritarian and tyrannical and money grubbing that these cities, what they're got the people that are in power, like the bureaucrats, like the more they do this, which they are, like, I mean, now there's like a new tax that's rolling out for Manhattan where if you want to drive in Manhattan, it's like $12 a day for a car or something, and like $24 a day for like a truck, like just to exist in Manhattan. And they're gonna have cameras up that'll track your license plate and tag you and then mail the bill. Like it's like tolling, but for it's called a congestion tax or something. And that type of, and then of course like the whole letting in third world immigrants just like unlimited in that small area, the quality of life is going to collapse for people that live in Manhattan. And they'll just vote because like clearly the voting maybe doesn't work there, so they will vote with their feet, and they already have. And it's not just there, Chicago, places in California like the big metros, like San Francisco, like the epicenter, LA. Like people will continue moving to places like Miami because it's the mayor and the leadership that the like mayors are almost like CEOs of cities now after COVID. uh, Listening to Balaji talk about that was incredible because yeah, you now have just tons of pragmatism and economic opportunity in Miami. People are just flooding here, like from all different sectors, tech and finance, especially the big ones. So you got to see what will happen. What's Miami going to be like in the next 10 years if the trend stays as is? Just crazy.
You see, Advanced Micro is up 10 today.
Yeah, I got alerted. I had like a little
Yo, guys,
trending alert.
this is exactly
Unreal.
what you want to see.
That
Advanced
falling
Mi-
wedge was beautiful.
this thing's got to do a monster breakout. If this thing breaks out hard,
No, we're going,
forget it.
dude. It'll be all
Forget
time
it.
highs. Yeah,
That's huge.
Lisa Sue Bay. Yeah, this one was just the dream, dude. I mean, you had an inflection point from history. You can't make up how perfect it was, and the way they did it, like the composite man and the market makers, they're just freaking geniuses. They had like on the date of October 26th, like they've done this on Bitcoin too, where they push the price below the inflection point, and it's a confirmed bearish breakdown on the daily, right? And it's like, oh my god, it's over. And then the next day, there is no follow through, and the price gaps up above the level, and it's a false bearish breakdown, and it's like a confirmation low at an inflection point, and then the breakout of the wedge. Here, I'll send you what I've got on mine. Just you can't make up. This was definitely one. Like if you were gonna long anything, AMD was kind of maybe the one. I'm talking about like the pure technicals.
There's so many of these, and then the ones that got beat up, those are all
Broke
buys.
out too. Like
Here's
122 was it. I mean, 122 to 124. That's a breakout level. I mean, you're at what 133, and then really after 133, man, it's like 155, 156.
nice.
It's
Let me
beautiful.
see
The
this.
wedge though, look at that. It's like a work of art.
Oh yeah, check this out, guys.
Just artwork, man. Like the way they painted this thing. Like that is by the book. It was a false bullish breakout,
Yeah,
at
that's a sweet
first,
chart.
but then yeah, we got that type two. And it all correlated to the old peak from September 2020, July 2021. Incredible, and history repeat itself in the end with the in October 2021 there was a falling wedge just like this, and then it blew up and went to all time highs. So it was like a fractal, gorgeous stuff, man.
Yeah, these chips are definitely set to run for next year. I think the semis are probably where they go ballistic. I've got this Wolf Speed up. That's one of the chips that got crunched, but that's probably the low's probably in on that. And then I've been pounding the table forever on Intel, and
Yeah, Western Digital been killing it, made 52-week highs like last week. I think it broke out too.
well,
Yeah,
that's
Western
beauty.
Digital looks almost identical to the way Google did in March. Like that was the way I uh
Yeah, that's a
I interpret it.
massive weekly bat pattern. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Wow. Outside of that though, it was just this downtrend, that started in May of 2021. They broke it out in August, and then on that crazy pullback on earnings late October, that was the check back. That was the bullish back test of the breakout of the channel. This is incredible. And then the third valley, man, and the buyers defending the 200-day simple moving average. I'm sure there was already a golden cross that happened. Yeah, the golden cross happened. My God, back
Oh, look at
in
that.
July.
Monthly chart showing a massive type 2 crab completed, bottoming at
God.
35. This should be ready to go back to 87.
Uh-huh.
This
Yep.
is
Yeah, this
huge.
thing's dude, it's the look at the level, like the 2000, the ice line, go to 2016, that valley.
Yeah,
And go back to that peak from 2008, the first one, not the second one. And then it's 2019 a couple times, and then
yeah,
2020. That is virtually what was back tested as support on that late October low. That is your strongest form of confirmation, a spring back test, and you just better look out holding this. It doesn't even, it pulls back to like $40. I don't care. This is something that, all right, okay, it's an asset that makes money, like lots of money. And well, actually, it actually doesn't. Wow, Western Digital loses money all the time. Crap. Okay. So it is in a sector that makes lots of money. So okay. But like, yeah, it's at this inflection point that it's so rare for the asset. Okay, May of 2016, when it hit that level, you had a rally. It went up 200% in 2 years. Okay, then it goes back 2018 and then runs up 105% in 390 days. Then it comes back and flirts with the level and then finally pivots, spring back test August 2020, then runs up 122%. And then back even in 2012, it hit that level and bounced and ran up how much? It ran up 224% in over 2 years.
yeah.
Um, so
It looks like it's
it's like,
ready for that kind of a run. They
well,
all
it's
do.
it's yeah, but it's so rare that you get the opportunity of a chart like this. I think I look at this like a comet. I make the metaphor, the analogy of like when an asset gets to these key ice lines, you are at a point in time where there's a comet that only comes around where it's visible to the naked eye once every 25 years or something, once every 10 years. And once it hits the ice line and bounces off of it, confirms its bottom off that level, that's when the not the meteor, but the comet begins to wane away. It starts to go further away, and you're not able to see it as well with the naked eye, and eventually you won't be able to see it again, and you won't be able to see that comet again for another however many years. That's what happens on these charts, and what Western Digital has just done that. So, and you're actually, that was a huge run off that October 26th low. So, but I don't think we've seen the full outcome yet of that, right? It's just started. And yeah, again, 70, 80 plus dollars on this. So,
Nice. I like what's to
no, man,
come. Look at Meta up $10 today. The other thing is just gonna go. Yeah, I mean
that's just,
that's it.
yep,
Look at that monthly chart. Look at
so
that.
crazy,
That
man.
monthly chart on Meta is insane. You only had
Yep.
1 month down in the last 15.
Yeah, above 300. 300, I think 295 is your cutoff, maybe. If you're like, hey, I want to, I mean, it's crazy to own an asset that's run like that because where are we? Right from our previous high to low, we're like at the 786, 886. So it's like you're paying like pretty high premium. There's no value on owning Meta right now based on like
Yeah.
retraces. But yeah, if you have a stop below 295, fine, go with God. You could let it run as much as you want. Just cut your losses because below 295, that you could see 218.
Well, we're almost getting into a point where we haven't been for a while, where if the market's going to run and break out, the positions you want to establish now are going to be more long-term swing style that you just get in now and you let them run through the year. It's absolutely, these are setting up in that way. I don't, I know Meta's, um, it's all the way back. Obviously, a year ago was the opportunity, but you're looking for the breakout. If it's Microsoft or Nvidia, these all have, they've just done amazing things in the last year, and long-term charts look like, all right, well, the thing last year was just was just a small correction within the long-term
Mhm.
trend, and that continues. So, it shapes up for a hell of a lot better year, even this year, next year than this year. This feels like, at least for crypto, the last 2 months have painted a different story than what seemed like it was going to shape up.
Year
Um,
making, man. It was year making the past 6 weeks. And it's like year making for like Bitcoin and some of these, yeah, like the harmonics, just buying the type two, your position's up like, I mean, 50 to 100%. If you're lucky, 200, but most of them haven't done that yet. But 50%, like FIL, HBAR, Matic for sure. Like those are all like if you did the right thing, buy the Scott Carney book and bought the Type Two with the stop loss below the ice lines that they're back testing so beautifully, and below the Type One, Type Two lows. Yeah, you're up like tremendously on your position. But the crazy thing about it is that's just like that's just the take profit one level that was hit. There's two more levels, right? Like it's only hit one. You're pulling back after some short-term profit taking, and you can already see the signs of strength. These pivots are already occurring on the altcoins. It's just FIL is a great example because it's now at $5 again, where if you break that, insane upside, and you're gonna take out the highs you saw at the height of the rally, which was FIL got to 565. You'll see that broken in maybe a few days if it starts really getting going. So
yeah,
yeah, man, we're in a magic time right now.
it,
We've been
it
in one
is.
for about 6 weeks.
Market
So
does this.
incredible.
Market like goes through these phases where the window of opportunity opens up and you got to rush in when it happens, because a lot of times when you're riding chop or you're just going through a lot of sideways behavior, um, I mean that's really what you get paid for. But it is, you wait for these kind of times, and that's where we're at. So, um, with that, man, I'm going to finish up. I got to get going, but I
Good thing, man.
appreciate your time today. Great to have you
Yeah,
back
dude.
on.
Got all my breakfast and food cooked
Yeah.
a little earlier today. I'm still finishing up when I texted you. But like, yeah, man, like I'm on this like crazy regiment. It's so amazing because like it works so well. I've never like dieted, even when I was like playing football at Bama and stuff. Like I was eating anything I wanted. So I was probably eating way too many, calories and all that. Okay, protein, but too much. And so like now I'm on this thing where I'm eating like I'm counting my calories every day, and I'm working out and getting like 200 grams of protein, and like I've gained 3 pounds, 3.5 actually. I checked it out, 3.5 pounds of muscle in 4 weeks, and I've lost a pound, 1.6 pounds of fat, like in that same time. So, I mean, like a huge lifestyle change for me. So, I have to be so disciplined and like I'm like always eating, always recovering, and I can't like skip a meal. Like you just don't do that with this program. So
Yeah, no, I
that's why
find
I
that
missed on Tuesday.
I'm pushing my weights myself for my shoulder, and I'm feeling my body crave protein for the first time in like a year.
Oh man,
So,
it's a good feeling, man.
well, yeah, we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it to make it through the next year for sure. But um, I
Well, I
appreciate it.
mean, yeah, hopefully you work up an appetite for what next week you said
Yeah,
now?
let's definitely do
Or
next Saturday. I need probably that one more
should
week,
be
but
good.
I will call you, and then the three of us will hit up Saturday.
Yeah, that's cool cuz like we should do it then cuz like I'm like got to go back to Alabama the next weekend for Christmas and stuff. So, let's
Yeah,
do it, man.
I will call you. I'll call you, uh,
All right.
later, and I'll confirm it. I'll get that. I'll get the reservation
Sounds
too.
good, man. Well, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and we'll do it again, of course.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing it. I got a feeling a lot more coming up here. So
By the looks of it, yeah, for
everybody,
sure.
give Mitch Ray a big shout. Thanks, Mitch, again showing up. Always great. I'll get over to you very soon, and I'll call you. I'll call you later. We'll catch up.
Sounds good, man. God
All right,
bless.
you too. Take care. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Mitch Ray. Get over to see Mitch Ray TA at nightly on his best internet show. For everyone else, Listen, on Tuesday I'll come out with the holiday special. So for those that missed the Black Friday, like I said, what you do, go start over as a basic member and get set up with the TradingView platform. We do most of the crypto on TradingView. Send your username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. You guys thought I would forgot today's giveaway Thursday. First person to type in gold, GOLD, will get a gold membership. You'll get the TradingView program for a month, and you'll come to our short-term crypto trading seminar early January. I'll come up with a date. It'll probably be like second week, maybe around the 15th of January. We'll do another program. But for those that did purchase new gold members, our seminar from yesterday is available on the website. Hey, Neelam Vats, you win the gold. You have to contact Miss Stephanie in the Discord, okay? The Discord link is on the basic membership page right here. If you have any questions, send me a note personally to harmonictrader@gmail.com. Everybody else, have a great one. We'll catch you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. We'll see where crypto is come Tuesday. Until then, as always, go get them. See you next time.